So, look, I got something from your group a couple of days ago with the whole list of what you folks did and what the full extent of the wave. We're talking about the wave, we're talking about the wins in the Senate and the House, but the RSLC put out all these numbers. Give us a sense of where we are nationally as a party and as a conservative movement.
Well, we are at a high water mark at the state level, Tom, and we are continuing to rise. The numbers that we saw at the state level, particularly for state legislatures, but the same is true of some of the other statewide offices, are at or exceeding all-time highs. For legislatures, for example, we've exceeded the all-time high of chambers held. We now hold 69 out of 99 legislative chambers.
That's incredible.
And an all-time high of Republican seats, and those both date back to highs in the 1920s. We still have some results to be certified, but we'll be well above the 4,001 seats that was the previous all-time high held by Republicans back in the 1920s. So we're at a high, and the reason for that is that Republicans are doing great things in the states. We were able to build on 2010, which was a very good year, and actually had a net positive year of legislative pickups in 2012. And that's because people like what they're seeing from these governments. They're seeing things in Wisconsin. They're seeing Michigan pass right to work in the home of the UAW, and it's working, and they want to see more.
That's why people are saying that the GOP, the real GOP frontrunner for 2016, whoever he or she may be, will come out of the states, will be a chief executive, will be somebody who has a real record of accomplishment as a chief executive at the state level.
Well,
right.
You won't have to wait for 2016 to see that, because more than half the new members coming into Congress served in their state legislatures. They have to balance budgets. They have to be innovative. They have to be pragmatic, just like Americans all across the country. And their small businesses and around their kitchen tables with their budgets need to be creative and make things work and have a positive vision. And Joni Ernst from Iowa and Tom Tillis from North Carolina, both currently serving in their state legislatures. And again, more than half of the folks coming in with this new wave in Congress have had that kind of experience. So you're going to see it right away, and absolutely that path to 270 just got a little easier and a few more options based on some of the successes out in the states.
You know, I know you've done this too. We always tell people, don't just forget about the state legislative races, because that's the training ground for Congress. If you have good state legislators, and you can send them to Congress, 2/3 of the members of Congress were former state legislators or local elected officials, and if you can get good people at the local and the state legislative level, then you have a real bottom-up process of reform of government. And so how do you get people to pay more attention to these races, Matt?
Well, what you do is you highlight the good things that are happening already. Right now, we're in an environment in this country where the Obama-led federal administration in Washington is doing nothing, and when it does do something, we'd contend it's the wrong thing. But you look to the states and you see these examples, and you mentioned Governor Walker and Lieutenant Governor Becky Clayfish in Wisconsin did great things. And for a long time, the Great Lakes area, of which the western part of our home state of New York is very much a part and had a lot of similarities, were exporting jobs and population to the rest of the country. Turn things around, and now you've got an opportunity where people are coming back to Wisconsin. Manufacturing jobs are coming back to Wisconsin. The sky didn't fall in the educational system, and taxpayers and businesses have more freedom individually and to grow and create jobs. So talking about these stories out there and the longer-term trends where businesses are voting with their feet, they're moving to the business-friendly environments like Florida and Texas and Georgia and Tennessee. And these places are regulated by and large and impacted by their state and local government.